Hello, my dear apprentices of mathematics. Your coach, Mr. Magnus, welcoming you to his channel. This is my channel, and I'm hoping that this is of assistance to you. Today, looking at Module 6, Lesson 12, we have to create a rule. This is your chance to be creative, and from there, we're going to generate a pattern, a number pattern. Generate means to produce, to create. So let's begin and let's look at what we have already on the table. The table becomes what is your guide to come up with the rule. Okay, so let's look at one and one half, right? So if you have one and one half, notice that y is 3, right? Okay, so to create 3, what do we have to do to 1 and one half? Huh, interesting. We have to add it. So this is the rule. Add 1 and one half to x. So that's what's going to happen to get y. Remember, the rule it's always created to get the number y in the coordinate y. Okay, so now let's follow the rule. So for example, now if b is 2, then we add 1 and one half to 2. That's going to become 3 and one half. And now we're going to write the coordinate pairs, 2 and 3 and one half. That's the coordinate, the pair of coordinates. Now let's see, how about, what if C, the point C was 0? Well, again, we're going to add one half to 0. So y is going to be one half. And here is our point, 0 and one half. Our next one, point D, is, let's make it 4. So if the rule is add 1 and one half to x, then we have to add 1 and one half to 4, and that's going to make y out 5 and one half. So we found y for all of these coordinate pairs. And let me write it here. Now we're going to plot this one, and this is the line L. And let me make sure you can see the whole graph, because it's been challenging doing this. Okay, let's do this. So our first point on the, let me label the y-axis and the x-axis. And let's look at this. Okay, so if you pay attention, the scale is incrementing by one half. One half, one and one half, two and one half, three and one half, four, and so on and so forth. And so this, the y axis is the same way, is the same scale. Here's one half, here is one and one half, okay? All right, so let's look at the first point, one and one half and 3. So x is one and one half. So x is 1, here's one and one half, and so we ran to one and one half, and we jump to 3. Oops, excuse me. We jump to 3, and that's where the lines intersect. So here's point number 1. And the coordinate pairs are 1 and one half and 3. Our second point is 2 and 3 halves. So we're going to run to 2, and we're going to jump to 3 halves. 3 halves will be right here between 3 and 4. So that's where the points intersect, and we're going to label this as well, and this is going to be point 2 and 3 and one half. Now let's do the C point. And see, now we can put the letters instead of the coordinates. It will make it easier, I think, but maybe not, because this line will have the same ones. Anyways, let's move on. So the next one is 0 and one half. Okay, so we're gonna go x is 0. Remember, x is 0, and y, we're gonna jump to y, which is 1 and one half, which was gonna be all the way over here, and that's the coordinate pair. The point with the coordinate pairs, 0 and one half. Our last point is going to be is 4 and 5 and 1/2. So we're going to run to 4 and jump to 5 and 1/2. Whoa! There you go. And we're going to meet right here. This is the line. And we make this line broken because this is just the path to show you how these lines meet. It's not for the lines to be there. These are imaginary lines, and this is where the point is. So this is going to be point 4 and 5 and 1/2. So notice that we made this line by creating the rule following these two coordinates given to us. Now we're going to connect the dots on this line to make a line L. And there you go. This is line L. Okay, let's look at line line M. Notice the line N is giving us free range to select any number. But let's make it closer to something that we learned already. So let's make Y. Let's make it Y is twice. Let's make it simple. Y is twice as much as X. Okay. So that means this one has to be twice X. So let's say we start with 1 and 1/2. That means Y is going to be twice that amount. So it's going to be 3. It's going to be 1 and 1/2. Okay. And let's see yes, and the Y is 3. That's point A. Point B is going to be, let's say, why don't we move up to, let's just increase by 1 on the X coordinates. So let's make it 2 and 1/2. So Y has to be twice as much as X. So now twice that number should be 5. Now here are the coordinate pairs. And our third point, let's do the same thing we did right here. Let's say that is 0. So what is twice that number? Well, twice the number is 0. Okay, because remember, twice 2 times 0 equals 0. So now do you remember what happens when we have X is 0 and Y is 0? This line starts in or goes through the origin. Okay, let's say, how about X is 3. So Y has to be twice. So twice 3 is 6. And these are the coordinate pairs. Okay, now let's plot these lines. And I'm going to use a different color. Let's do the first one. 1 and 1/2, and Y is 3. So 1 and we're going to run to 1 and 1/2. And we're going to jump to 3. Oh, look at this. It's right here. Same number. So I'm going to make sure we can see that. So 1 and 1/2 and 3 are the same as the other line. If you pay attention, this is true. Do you see this number? It's the same as this one right here. That's why they have the same point. Let's see if the second point aligns with it. The second point says 2 and 1/2. 2 and 1/2 is X and Y is 5. So we're going to run, let me show you again. 2 and 1/2, that's X, and twice that amount is Y. So those are the coordinates. So we're going to run to 2 and 1/2, whoop, and we're going to jump to 5. Whoop, boom, and there's 5. So we're going to make our dotted line to show the path that we follow. And here is the point that we just plotted, 2 and 1/2 and 5. Okay, that's point number 2, or E. Now, okay, now see this one right here is 0, 0. So that's the origin. So the origin is right here, and that is the point. X is 0 and Y is 0. Now let's look at the last one, the last one is X is 3, Y is 6. So we're going to run to X, which is 3, and Y is 6. So we're going to jump all the way up to 6. and there is 6 right there. And we're gonna just show the connection there, the path, and that's a 0.36. Okay, now we're gonna connect the points, and remember, if your points do not align, that means there is something wrong with your creating the points, plotting the coordinate pairs. That's probably one of the mistakes, or in the table there is an error. So make sure you always check. See my line, all of my points align. So line M is well done. Okay, I don't need that one. So it's a line M. So see, now with this we created the rule, and then we generated patterns. These patterns in which the numbers increase by a certain amount on both. Let me go back again because I don't think you were seeing what I was pointing at. So now you can see that we generated a rule ourselves, and that rule generated patterns. And the pattern is when this is 1.5, this is twice that amount. So that, and this is the same thing. This is 2, this is 1.5 more. This is 3, this is 1.5 more. I mean, this is 0, this is 1.5 more. If this is 4, y has to be 1.5 more. The rule on this side, on the line M, was when x is 1.5, so y must be twice that amount. You see that? This is 2.5, and y is twice that amount. And this one, of course, is 0 on both of them because twice that number equals 0. And that's how we came up with these lines. And the one thing they have in common is they intersect on point 1.5 and 3. That's where they intersect. And then what else can we observe? Line M will continue to move if we'll continue to increase y, it will continue to move to the left. And it will move to the right if we decrease y. Okay, remember we talked about those effects of y being larger or smaller. Watch the video again. Remember, this is a repetition of the last videos. Pay attention, ask questions, pause the video. It is crucial that you pause the video and rewind if something is not clear. Your coach, Mr. Magno, is signing out.